This is the 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 9 Calligraphy, and it is a great mid-size crossover EV. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this IONIQ 9 from my friends at Mike Morgan Hyundai in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color is called Ionosphere Green, and it will have a dark green on dark green interior. I'll give you a quick look at what we have where that is concerned. We're going to take a much closer look later in the video. This model will come with H-Track all-wheel drive, and we're going to have our full LED lighting here on the front end, the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals. It's all here, and you can see the uniqueness that is designed into the way that this model looks. Everything intentionally done. You will find that you have the active air intake right here that's going to allow for keeping the battery cool, and our Hyundai logo here on the front of the hood. Very nice body lines. And we'll find that our side view mirrors are going to have everything you're looking for. They're heated, they're power adjustable. They're going to have blind spot monitoring built in. And let me push the button right here. And there are a couple of different ways you can make this happen. Number one, we can do this with the button right there. And when you lock and unlock this vehicle, you will also find that those side view mirrors will fold in. We'll find the roof rails up top. We're going to have a panoramic sunroof and quite a squared off look here on the rear. Does this look familiar? I'm curious to see what everybody says. I know what I think, but I'm curious to know what you think as far as this overall rear area looks. Now, I do like the design of what we have with the windows here. They're nice and large, but I like how it tapers off like this. We're going to have the silver right here. Not a lot of gloss black to overload things. A little bit, but I'd say not too much. And we're going to have a similar look here on the rear with the LED taillights to finish things off. We're going to also have our IONIQ 9 logo. There is the H-Track for your all-wheel drive, that logo. And right here, if you're wondering what this is, that is going to be your backup light. Here is the remote lock, unlock, remote start, your panic button. And on the side, we have a couple of different things as well, including the ability to open the power tailgate, and you have Smart Park Assist. And one more thing I can show you is the door handles that will deploy in and out of the doors to help with aerodynamics. That is obviously the name of the game when it comes to any EV, and keeping your charge capacity as high as possible for as long as possible. Horsepower comes in at 422 with 516 pounds-feet of torque, top speed of 124 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 in about 4.9 seconds. The charge port is located right back here. Push on that and it will automatically open up. How about your charging times? On a DC fast charger, we're looking from 10% to 90% in about 24 minutes. A level 2 charger will take about 9 hours to go from 10% to 100%. How about your MPGEs? In the city, you've got 91 miles, 79 miles out on the highway. We're looking at 40 kilowatt hours per every 100 miles driven. Everything combined is 85 miles, and you can drive about 311 miles on a single charge. And something that is convenient here, you can see that you have a couple of different options. One for opening your front trunk and one for opening the power tailgate back here. And on the front trunk, we hit that button 2 times like that. As you can see, it said ×2. And I like that because to gain access to your roughly 2 cubic feet of cargo space, you don't have to search around for any kind of a release. Just makes things a little bit easier and a little bit of additional space. Not much, but it is here. One thing I did not mention earlier in the video that you may have picked up on is the fact that there is no exposed rear window wiper. It is here. It's neatly concealed away inside of the rear roof spoiler area. And here's another way to open your power tailgate. Push that button right there and we can gain access to our cargo space. And that's going to range between 21.9 up to 46.7 to 86.9 cubic feet. Depending on how you set things up back here, these rear seats can be raised or lower, or should I say the seat backs, using the buttons right here. We will have our cargo area lighting back here. We're also going to have a 12-volt power outlet. Let's talk about what your second and third row passengers will find. The privacy shades are here, if so desired, to be put in place just like that. That's going to be on each door. And then a lot of space with a nice comfortable armrest, the cup holders, and a nice large door bin right there. The IONIQ 9 logo will be at all of the doors on the door sill down there. Power adjustable seats. And you can see that you can move the seats back and forth and increase or decrease leg space for third row passengers. Now we're going to hit that button right there and get the seat up and out of the way. There is the panoramic sunroof. The front portion will tilt and slide open, and there is a power shade that can be drawn back and forth when so desired. Here is the leg space with the seat forward. Not so much leg space when the seat is back. And we'll also find a USB port and some cup holders, and then can recline these seats. They actually recline quite a bit, as you can see right there. So one of those common questions that I know a lot of people have when it comes to these vehicles is, can you recline the seats? You can recline these third row seats, and obviously you can do the same thing with the middle row seats. Quite a bit to talk about for your second row passengers. We're going to have the rear seat pockets and easy access to the center console if so desired. It opens in two different directions. And here is our third zone of climate control with all of the temperature adjustments, fan speed, everything is here. And we have heated seats and ventilated seats here in the second row area. And also a little bit more storage right here, a nice large drawer that is right there. Now this may seem like it's really far back. I'm going to show you why that is when we hop into the front seat area. One of the interesting things I've always wondered about is what we have right here, where the passenger, if they wanted to in the second row, can move the seat back and forth. If the passenger side front seat is too far back or whatever the case is. Obviously the USB ports will continue to be here built into the seats, as we've seen in so many Hyundai models for quite a few years now. I'm going to lower the armrests right here that are nice and comfortable. You can see those right there. We'll lower this one, make it a little bit easier to see, and you can adjust that height if you want to. We'll also find the air conditioning vents built into the roof area on the second and third row areas. If you're on a road trip and you decide to stop somewhere for a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, maybe the vehicle's charging, whatever it is, look at what you have here. The relaxation seats, not only here for your second row passengers, but also for the passenger and the driver in the front seating area. As you can see, this is going to recline a little bit more, but it will depend on where people are sitting. If there's nobody in that second row seat, you can take full advantage of that. The sticker price is $77,255. Tell me what you think about that. Let's see what else you get for that price. There is the control for your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. You're going to have the button right there for the heated steering wheel functionality. As you can see, a couple of different stages for that. Your heated and ventilated seats. There's the heated seats and the ventilated seats. Nice to have that. Don't need that today. Even in Northwest Louisiana, it's actually a little chilly out there. We will also find our dual zone climate control here in the front seat area. And you can see some of the common design elements throughout the interior as far as what we have here on the seats, making for some nice consistent look throughout the IONIQ 9. There is your glove box and nice large door bins and armrests, just as we saw with the rear doors. The upper console will have everything for managing your power shade and sunroof controls, your lights, all of that. SOS is right there if you need that. And our nice, comfortable steering wheel with our steering wheel mounted controls, depending on what we want to do. And our driving modes are right here, drive mode selector. So we have quite a few different modes to go through. You're going to have eco, normal, sport. We have My Drive, and when you turn on sport, you're going to feel the bolstering on these front seats tighten up. So I guess that means Hyundai expects you to drive pretty fast. My Drive, if you go down to My Drive and push down on the selector, that gear or that drive mode selector I showed you, you have snow, mud, and sand. And when we push that again, we go back to our main screen where we just were. Everything over here on the driver's side door for seat memory. All of our controls are here. I can't show you everything because I don't need to roll the windows down, and they're telling me that because they're freshly tinted. But you know what all is here as far as your door locks and windows, window locks, all that good stuff is going to be here. And right here, we're going to have the lever for your turn signal indicators, which are nice to use because when you turn them on, you're going to see what is in your blind spot right on the driver's display, the 12.3-inch driver's display. You can also manage your exterior lighting, headlights and taillights right there, and everything for your front and rear windshield wipers will be here. And here is your shifter, kind of a multitasker of sorts, because not only is it the shifter, this is how we go into drive, and then we twist back to go into reverse. Your cameras will come on, and there are cameras everywhere. Push the button right there to go back into park, and this button is how you start and stop the IONIQ 9. Turn the power on and off ultimately. And we will have our digital rear view mirror. If you don't want to use it as a digital rear view mirror, get out of the tongue twist mode there, well, you can do that. Just depends on what it is you want. Everything there to make adjustments, all of that good stuff. Now, one thing I did want to show you is there's a release right here. I can kind of show that to you. I'm going to pull up on that, and that's how I can move the center console back and forth. As I mentioned earlier in the video, having that moved back does make it a little bit easier to gain access to the storage down below. A little bit of storage right here, a couple of USB ports as you can see, and then a 12 volt. You just push on that little door right there to open that and release it. And the 12.3-inch center screen, we can hit the button right there to go home. You have several options here, kind of one-touch options if you want to use those, depending on what you want to go to. And then if you want to see all of the different available options, your icons that I know a lot of you might be looking for, here's what we do. We hit settings right there. That allows us to come here and see everything that is here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone if you need to do that. You can also go over here to the second screen and go into your general settings. There is a lot going on here that you can work with depending on what you want to do. Different things you can turn on. You can even reset everything if you need to. We can go back to map right here if we want to. Built-in navigation is here if you want to take advantage of that. If you want to search, you can do that and type in whatever you need to depending on what you're looking for. You can see what all is here as far as that goes. There's your volume control and the knob for controlling what you're listening to. And then we're going to bring this back up and make it a little bit easier to see what's going on. There's auto hold mode, your hill start assist, and then we have park assist. And right here we can push the button and bring up the cameras. And there are multiple views on and around this Hyundai depending on what you want to see. We can go to several different places. Just take a quick look. Here's our front view. Go right here and see the side view, mirror view. You're going to have the front view taking up the entirety of the screen. And then, depending on what you want to see, just select through here and find whatever it is you need. But I do like that you have that 360-degree view over here that allows to see everything you need to see around you. Here's your wireless charging pad, your cup holders, and once again, the second option for opening the center console. And there is a lot of space within. You also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And let me give you a quick sampling of the Bose Premium Audio. It sounds really good in person. I hope that you can get a decent idea of what it sounds like based on what my microphone picks up, but I can guarantee you it does sound very good. And one more thing, I don't know how well you can see it. There's also a head-up display. One thing I like to do when I can is show you what the exterior and interior lighting looks like in a little bit of a darker atmosphere. And so you can see what we have here with all of our lighting, including the LED lighting that goes all the way across the front end. And in case you're curious, here is what the rear looks like. Now, one thing I do like here is the fact that the interior lighting itself, minus the ambient lighting, is very bright. And let's talk a little bit more about the ambient lighting. We're going to go in here to setup, and then we're going to go to vehicle. I'm going to show you how to manage your ambient lighting. We go to lights right here, and then we go up here to ambient lighting. Now, you can adjust your brightness if you want to increase or decrease that. You can do that right here. We can also go in and change our colors. Now, there are a lot of different colors to choose from. I'm just going to show you a couple here just to give you an idea of what is here. I'm going to have the lighting with the doors right there, obviously across the dash area. Now, you also have multiple choices right here. You go in here, if you want to change it, you hit OK right there, and that changes the lighting. But I will say, while it's not quite up to par with Mercedes-Benz, I'd say Hyundai does a pretty good job with their ambient lighting. Okay, here we go on the test drive with the IONIQ 9. And I'm just going to get on down the road here a little bit. One thing that I noticed very quickly is that it has nice, tight, and responsive steering. A lot more so than what you might expect with something like this. It definitely gets down the road nicely. When you're in sport mode, you're going to get the most out of it. It's just fun to drive, but the ride quality is nice and comfortable. The seats are comfortable, a lot of adjustability built in, including the seats themselves. You can adjust the driver's seat quite a bit. You've got the adjustable steering wheel, so really not a big deal as far as adjustability goes when it comes to being comfortable, being able to see just fine. You've got all of the different driving aids, such as your lane keeping assist, and all of that's going to be here. A lot of nice advantages with Hyundai. Everything here is easy to learn and use. Don't let the technology scare you off. It may look complicated, but it's not. If you start working your way around through the center screen, you'll find out very quickly that it's not bad at all. There's a decent amount here to work with, but that doesn't mean that it's hard to learn to use. So that's a good thing for everybody. I always feel like if I can learn my way around this, so can anybody else. It's pretty simple. Plenty of room in the first two rows. A little bit of room in the third row. It may not be as massive as what we'd like, but that's somewhat typical for a mid-size EV or SUV like this. So you're going to have that end up being the situation. But the nice thing is that there is some adjustability built in to where third row passengers can have a little bit of extra leg space if so desired. That is not a problem. I would have gone around that truck up there, but I knew somebody was likely to pull out of the left-hand lane, so it just basically defeats the purpose. I don't even know if I can get around him in time to make the exit, but when you get on the pedal, you might be surprised at how quickly this Hyundai gets up and goes when you need it to get up and go. It is quick. That's one of the fun things about an EV, but once you do that a few times, you get it out of your system, you're not likely to do it all the time, because obviously that is going to deplete your charge capacity quicker than it would happen otherwise. As far as a long road trip goes, well, you can go a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, and be just fine, be nice and comfortable, especially in these first two rows like I mentioned. But when you need to stop, you can hook up to a charger and take advantage of these seats and how comfortable they are, and being able to use the relaxation seats to their full potential. That's always a nice thing to have. Not a lot of vehicles out there that have that kind of an option to deal with. So tell me what you think about the 2026 Hyundai IONIQ 9 Calligraphy Performance. It's a great mid-size crossover EV. I'm curious to know what you think about it. Tell me down in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Hyundai for loaning me this IONIQ 9 for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.